Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Ophiuchus, let us begin, shall we? Ophiuchus, we're going to do a little touch base with looking at what's the intuition, the inner knowledge of Ophiuchus saying. And I only say that because, hey, what's inside of books? Wisdom, knowledge, right? So we have a 9 of Wands. Start out with this. Ophiuchus probably already knows that maybe it's time to test to see if the battle is over. You notice that somebody is kind of like, instead of presenting themselves in the threshold of the doorway, they're still putting out like a little, little stick man here to see, are things still really difficult? And if there were things that we were battling, you notice that this little devil dude is just, he's itty bitty. Basically, the things that used to be really stressful have shrunken way down. The things that were complicated have gotten a lot easier. The fears have really minimized. And here we have Ophiuchus kind of already knowing that. That's what I would say. The fact that they're peering out, going, so coast clear. 9 of Wands is that wounded warrior card, but it's where our warrior is pretty much healed up, pretty much ready to get back into the business of living. We have a 4 of Swords. There's been a lot of healing. Ophiuchus knows this. There's been a ton of healing that they've already gone through. So much that now they've learned how to levitate. They're feeling so much lighter, so much brighter. And deep inside, I think Ophiuchus knows this about themselves. 5 of Coins. I gotta say, we could have right now I'm picturing like the scales, if you're buying fruit at a market or something, and you got the two different scales. I'm feeling like the scales are shifting as Ophiuchus feels lighter, feels brighter, is levitating. You notice that symbolically we have this little invisible yet uh, unseen but felt little pressure gremlin riding around on someone's back. I'm going to say that as Ophiuchus feels better, feels lighter, they are subtly aware or intuitively aware that whomever they dealt with, let me hold on, we'll get to these other 2 cards in just a second. But as Ophiuchus gets lighter and lifts, the pressures are being deposited on the other person's shoulders. I'm not saying they're hoping for that. I'm just saying they're aware that that's what's happening. The less distressed they are, they're like, in the natural balance of the world, as I take stress off and I start to elevate, that stress is going somewhere and it ain't on me anymore. So it must be going on to them, whoever them is. We've got this 8 of Pentacles. It's somebody who thought they could either run from it, hide from it, act like it didn't matter. But this was a House of Cards. This is somebody who lied about it, said, oh, I already worked through that. Oh, it doesn't bother me. I don't think Ophiuchus tried to hide from anything. I think hey, Jeannie, good to see you, darling. I think if Ophiuchus felt burdened by something, they were honest about it. It was hard for Ophiuchus to heal from something. They chose to actually go through the route of genuinely acknowledging and working to heal through something. The other character created a little House of Cards and told themselves that they weren't bothered. And now, as time has passed, what we can see is that Ophiuchus is literally better. They literally are levitating. They literally are like, oh my gosh, everything got so much calmer for me. I can't believe how much better I feel. The exact opposite is happening as this time has passed. We got that 7 of Cups is like the opportunities, but also the confusion. I see passage of time because healing takes time. It also takes time to build something, even a House of Cards. As time has passed, Ophiuchus is pretty clear on stuff, and I think that this other person is more confused than ever. They're wondering, why do I feel distressed? They're wondering, I don't know if they played games or something with Ophiuchus. We have a big old chess piece here in the middle. We've got the apple that could be like the poison apple. We've got statuary in the background. It's like they chose to go ahead and say they could just put memories of Ophiuchus and whatever happened with Ophiuchus into like a memory bank. Maybe they didn't take ownership of any of the things that they messed up. we've got this skull with a little flaming crown around it. Look, if this was ever something where they thought they won or they thought they could move on easy from a Fucus, that is backfiring epically. But at this point in time, although it was difficult for a Fucus to move on, a Fucus is doing great. The tides are definitely turning. And I never read vindictive. I don't believe in that at all. But I will say this. Hey Mel, good to see you, darling. I will say this. A Fucus is in that energy of they intuitively know. And I don't know how they know this, but they know that as they feel better, something, it's like they're aware of this other person. They're aware of their distress. They're aware of, maybe they actually get genuine information. Maybe somebody says, hey, I just bumped into your ex yesterday. And if you guys is like, it would be the day that I'm actually feeling pretty darn good. I'm feeling like I'm better. Of course, that's the day somebody calls up and says, hey, I bumped into so-and-so and they were like, they started talking about you and crying. It could be, you notice how we have another person walking along beside them and they're like getting super stressed out with the little gremlin thing on their shoulders. I think they've been pretending like they were over you, and it sure doesn't seem like they are to me. Maybe that's why Ophiuchus is understanding this and finding out that that's going on. We got Knight of Coins. We got the Devil. Oh my gosh. We got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. In this storyline, I started out with intuition, right? What's the deep inner knowing? And now we're going down this kind of different side road. As Ophiuchus gets calmer, gets better, gets lighter, as they somehow sense or literally hear that the person they're getting over is actually regressing and like kind of having a meltdown over Ophiuchus, I think that they're just now realizing what a toxic choice they made. They sat there and pretended something was over, when in fact that predator, you see the big old white shark right behind this person in the aquarium, this was always going to come back up and bite them at some point. With the devil standing here, invisible but present, this toxic way that they have of acting like they can just dump stuff, get over it, that's catching up to them. If by chance this person like chose to go move on and meet somebody new, it's becoming very highlighted that they picked a karmic. It's not someone that they're happy with. It's not someone who loves them. It's not someone that they love. It's not a relationship that's happy. It's not, especially, and please forgive me, remember these are fictional stories, but I will tell whatever story comes out, good, bad, or ugly, because it's all just about like looking at situations and observing how characters behave and what motivates them. And that's kind of the interesting thing. At least that's what I think this kind of storytelling is all about. That would make a lot of sense if Ophiuchus had a ton to heal from because someone played a chess game, picked somebody over Ophiuchus, thought they could kind of play the field, thought they could maybe be strategic in things, that would have been very hurtful. It also says that, when we have an action, it does cause a reaction, even if it's delayed. Right now, it looks like they are getting a huge dose of karma. And if they chose somebody other than Ophiuchus, they are having a meltdown right now because what they've got themselves stuck in is something maybe very toxic with a predator, someone who is super emotionally manipulative, somebody who is, and how do I say this? It's the reflection of their own worst traits, someone who's as manipulative as they were. If they were a chess player, when it came to emotions, if they build the house of cards, pretend different things, act like everything's great, act like they can discard things, and move on and go down different roads and have zero repercussions or never be kept up at night thinking, oh my god, I messed up, and oh my god, I treated somebody wonderful poorly, and now what have I done? They can't escape that. This, whomever this is that they're with, I don't usually describe a character as a villain, and I don't really want to describe this Queen of Cups as a villain right now, but she's got her own karma that she brings to the table. And if this is who they're with, guess what? It's because that's the karma that they developed for themselves. It's like, let's put it this way. If you're a scam artist and you always want to cheat somebody, and so you're always looking for the best deal. So then you go out and you find somebody who's selling something, and it's like a deal that's way too good to be true. You know that there's no way that you could possibly get something at that price. You even know that the person who's selling it probably, this could be fenced goods, this could be stolen goods. I don't want to buy it anyway because it's a fraction of the price of the real deal. So because I'm somebody who's kind of shady, I'm going to do shady business with a shady business person. And then guess what? That item turns out to be fake. Can you be mad? You're going to go to the police and say, I tried to buy stolen goods thinking they were the real deal, but they were so cheap. But now it turns out, guess what? They were imposters. You can't really do that, right? Because you were messing up just like they were. You were shady just like the shady business person you were dealing with. That's what I'm trying to say. These characters all did shady stuff, and so they kind of earned each other. They are reflecting the worst traits of one another because there's this karmic lesson to be learned. And this doesn't mean that they're villains and they're horrible. It just says that there's toxicity here and we see it. If that is the X of Ophiuchus, Ophiuchus is on the opposite end of that spectrum. They didn't attract a karmic in their life. They learned about a difficult situation that was very painful, and they've elevated. Literally, we can see them levitating, so we know that they've elevated as they've healed from this. I think that's a really, maybe it will make our Ophiuchus feel a little bit better to know that they chose not to keep holding on to something that would reflect their own shadow. They couldn't have held on to this person because this person had too much shadow around them, and that's just not the way Ophiuchus was going to choose to live. They don't want to live in shadows. They'd rather live in lighter, brighter places. So how are they going to match with somebody who was kind of going to be shady and live in the shadows? That person has to get tired of living in the shadows and then come toward Ophiuchus and be more in the light. That's just the way it has to go, or Ophiuchus isn't going to be able to match with them anyway. We have a Messenger of Cups. Ophiuchus will probably receive an apology from this person. It may be a little overblown. It may be a little bit dramatic. Seven of Cups, and it's going to really throw Ophiuchus into questioning, what do I do with this? Two of Wands doesn't help answer the question. I think Ophiuchus is going to say, sometimes when reality hits somebody, when the repercussions of the choices that they made really start to sink in, that's when they start to maybe have those regrets that, Ophiuchus, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. I'm so sorry that, why would I have chosen a karmic instead of my Ophiuchus? Why did I do that? I'm so sorry that I did that. Yeah. Well, I don't know what Ophiuchus is going to do with that information, because remember, they've already healed from this. They've already elevated above this. Maybe it'll be nice to hear, but I don't really. Ophiuchus no longer needs the apology. If anything, they're going to have to question, what do I do with this apology that they're giving me? What does this mean? Do I factor this in? Am I somehow under contract to absolve them of their disappointments? Am I under contract to somehow have to welcome them back into my life? What does this mean? Why am I getting this apology now? Seven of Swords. It is going to be like a final test for Ophiuchus, for them to be really honest with themselves. Instead of Ophiuchus going, what is this all about? Ophiuchus might have to ask themselves the question, what do I really want? When I get this apology from this person, how does it make me feel? What does it make me want or want to do? Six of Swords. If Ophiuchus says, in truth, it just makes me want to move on, not look back. I don't even want to respond and say thanks. I don't have to do that if I don't want to. A chapter that's already closed and I already healed from, I don't need to jeopardize my healing to give them support. That is maybe part of their lesson in life, is that's great. They can feel sorry about something. It still doesn't mean that it fixes things, but to their credit, they might come in and apologize. Let me get one more card on this, because like I said, the bottom line on this one is Ophiuchus has to be really truthful with themselves about what they want. We've got the Ace of Wands, we got the Messenger of Wands. If they want this person to chase them, they're going to have to be honest about that too. If they're saying, I'm moving on, but I'm looking back because I hope that they have enough passion to keep chasing me. That wouldn't maybe be the best approach, only because it might be better to just say point blank, I'm glad that you're sorry. Honestly, I'm going to keep moving on. If you continue to change and you really want to heal things with me and you want to put in a bunch of effort, maybe you can change my mind. But I almost think Ophiuchus is going to have to say it out loud, acknowledge it, if that's what they're really hoping for. This has passion, but also has peace. I'm going to just say it because this is what I'm seeing and this is what I'm thinking. It's almost like if Ophiuchus deep down wishes this person would chase them, wishing that there would be some kind of like, yes, want me, pant for me, try to come get me, maybe even have one more passionate embrace with me, and then I can move on with peace. It almost feels like deep down Ophiuchus might actually want one more bout of passion to then finally heal something, or to have the olive branch there. It feels a little bit like there's this piece of Ophiuchus that deep down they may want to be the one who still walks away. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or anything. It just, they have to be honest. Why is it so imperative that they're honest about this with themselves? Action of Coins, 5 of Swords, 6 of Coins, and Empress, Sacred Feminine. I think it's really important because this is about having a brand new beginning. This is about how we block new beginnings, or how we block our own abundance sometimes. If deep down Ophiuchus knows, ultimately I need to move on from this person, but there's this piece of me that kind of wishes that they'd chase me and maybe we'd have one more bout of passion and then I'd still move on from them. The end result is, no matter what, I'm still wanting to move on from them and I'm still wanting to block them because I want a new beginning. But all of this says it could delay the new beginning, which would be detrimental to our character. So they're at this crossroads, they're at this moment where what they do next really matters, because at least in this fictional storytelling, Ophiuchus knows the final outcome. They know they're leaving this person behind. They don't really want a reconciliation, but they're toying with maybe drawing out this ending, letting someone pursue them, knowing this person is still finds them sexy, attractive, having some kind of passion, and then moving on. That looks like it would be detrimental to them. It would open up gateways that would then have blockages. It would impede their new beginning. They really kind of need to just keep moving forward to give to someone that they want to give and have reciprocated energy with, so that they just simply build. Like, does an Empress play any kind of games with themselves or their own resources? Do they gamble? They really don't, because they're always about, I don't gamble, I make factual decisions, and then I put my efforts into things that are really going to yield an outcome. And I kind of think, even though it's almost a little bit tempting to somehow get that final energy of closure for themselves, I don't think that's really, I don't think Ophiuchus is like strategizing like, ooh, how could I hurt them? I know, well, I'll let them back in a little bit, all apologetic, and let them think that I'm going to get back with them and then I'll still leave them. I don't think it's like that at all. I just think it's that subconscious, gosh, I don't know what to do. When this all says, Ophiuchus knows exactly what to do. Walk away from this mess. Don't let it become the thing that gets them off track. Don't waste any more of their precious days, months, weeks, years playing a game that's already played out with this person. because Ophiuchus is like they're this close to having massive success in their life, massive transformation, massive like leveling up. And so why waste any time with anything that could impede that? So they're not really in a place of confusion about this at all. It's just this card can be sometimes illusions like, gosh, I don't know what to do. They just said sorry to me. What should I do with that? I would say in this storyline, everything says nothing, not a word, no need to say anything. Their first instinct of, I left this behind, was the right instinct. Do I need to look back over my shoulder? I really don't. It would open up a can of worms if I even respond to them. Maybe I just keep it on block. Maybe I just keep moving forward. Maybe I only think about, I'm over this, I'm moving on. Really hard thing to be disciplined enough to like not respond or react when, especially when something was so hurtful, and then a character had to do so much healing solo in silence, which is what this card really says Ophiuchus had to do. It's really hard not to say, okay, well, I guess I should be friends with them, or secretly maybe try a little bit more passion, but I know I still am not going to end up with them. It's really hard to be disciplined enough, I think, to really let something end. But in this storyline, and please know I'm not telling you what to do with your life. I'm not saying this is right. This is just fiction. But in this storyline, it is in our character's best interest to go ahead and move on and not respond or react to even the apology of the ex in this story. All right, guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Hey, Melissa, good to see you. Morgan, it's a pleasure to see you as always, sweetheart. Hi, Dory. Thank you, hun. Chris Sherman's in the house. Hi. Lotta, great to see you, sweetheart. So nice to see you. Thank you for your lovely messages. Patricia, hi, hun. James Timmons in the house. Awesome. Good to see you. Hey, Lucille. Today feels strange. I have days like that where it feels strange, and I'm like, well, what's going on? That brings up a great song by LP called Strange. Love that song. Thank you for reminding me of that. God, she's a great singer. Hi, White Horse. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. All right, you guys, take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye.